your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good afternoon, race fans. Sigma Offline Racing Series underway here tonight from Charlotte for the Coke Zero 300, here for the Bridge to Cup Series. And would you look at that? It's a front row start for Cadillac. The only two Cadillacs in the field, and they're starting 1-2. As you've got Gannon Bird and Cannon Gage. Our most dominant contender there, Dave Steele Jr., starting in third alongside Scott Speed. But the topic of high importance here tonight and for the rest of the Bridge to Cup season here, our 2023 Sylvania Cup champion steps in to fill the empty seat for GP Luxembourg here in the 84 BMW, and he's going to try to give it all he's got to win the championship in that number 84 Jersey Mike's paint scheme there, Jack Davis. And so we'll just kind of skim through the rest of the starting lineup here so we can get right into the racing action. As you see, Rich Roy, Chasey Plays, Noah Hobson, Kosnoff, Roach. Man, Hagen still sits top 3 in the points, but he gets these terrible starts every week. It's going to start to catch up to him here soon. We do have Ace Blake in the field yet again, as well as Wyatt Wilkinson getting some more seat time. So 200 laps here tonight at Charlotte. 300 miles in total. And it's going to be Gannon and Cannon leading them to the green flag here.
How quick the commitment line comes up on you into turn 2 there. Don't let him speed because it's a short box right there. it was on the green flag, wearing him out. Even if he says he understands, keep wearing him out. The pit off of turn 4 was just love him. Tom is just long, long.
Escobar is in the number 8 here in Bridge to Cup. And starting about 25th, I would say, in the field, looked like from the lineup. But yes, he's in the number 8 for Owl Bunch Incorporated. And we're off and rolling here for 200 laps. One of the lengthier events for Bridge to Cup. We saw a lot of trouble here the other night with them going 3 wide on the front stretch and tearing up a whole bunch of trucks. Right there, kind of the danger spot for Krista Cower. She clips the wall but continues onward. If we have any troubles, we might have to throw them back into single file restarts. Hopefully we don't have to come to that, but very possible that that could happen again here tonight. We're getting our test trials in for the Coke 600 next week with our Sylvania Cup drivers. Getting a feel for all the parts and pieces to make this race flawless next Friday. And here we go, off to the early single file running here. Not as much 3 wide action as we saw in the trucks the other night. Atley Weiss going low here on Dave Steele Jr. Atley definitely putting his expertise on show for everyone. He's the 2023 Sylvania Cup champ for a reason. It's very much within the realm of possibility. If he can knock out some wins and move up the ladder up into the top 16 in the points, he could be fighting for a championship in a Bridge to Cup series that he's never won a championship for. So this can get exciting. Those Cadillacs still holding the front of the field pretty well, and we've got a big one already here early tonight. It only took 5 laps. And we're going to have to dissect the carnage here bit by bit. Ooh, the 11 car went through a tumble there. Oh, the 50 gets turned. Rich Roy comes back up, and it's a self-cleaning track at that point. The 11 goes for a massive tumble. Not very many people made it out of that one clean. Let's watch from the chase of the 11 who went for a tumble. That is Spinham Walker in the number 11 Cheetos Dodge Challenger. Ooh, and he just got ran into from behind. Not a half bad save for the 12 car here. Minimizes damage. Kosnoff comes out looking pretty clean. A little bit of bumping and banging as he gets caught up here. 39 looks like Wilkinson sustained a little bit of damage. I imagine he just kind of cruised from nearly last in the field. This might be a fun one to watch. He clips the wall there, goes way low, way low. Man, that was heads up move from Wyatt Wilkinson there to make a clean getaway without as much damage as he could have sustained. And then we'll follow on Osiel Escobar's car here. I think he does a pretty good job at woeing up, minimizing the damage possible. You cannot see anything. Unfortunately, everything just got very tight and hard to maneuver. That might have been the worst of the damage there from Krista Cower as he got sideswiped there. So we're already starting off on a low note for some drivers. Retirement's likely to follow there. They'll get doubled up on the backstretch, and we'll get back to racing. We'll give them a couple opportunities here with double file, but if we get one more big wreck, it might be single file for the rest of the night. Well, here we go. Restart. Can engage with the lead here. His teammate gets shuffled backwards. It looks like Gannon Bird's going to restart about 5th. And Atley and Dave Steele side by side at about 7th and 8th. Knocked out of the race. It looks to be 5 cars. The 22, which names are escaping me at the moment. Noah Hobson out. The 29 of Rich Roy. The 88 of John Hagan. The 11 of Spinham Walker. And the 4. Oh, and that's a gnarly pileup. Man, we just cannot get out of here without death and destruction. Atley's car going for a severe spiral at the end of the wreck there. We definitely have some fixing to do with this track for our cup race here next week. It's been a rough one. And Atley just had nothing he could have done differently there, I think. Everyone went for a high flying tumble. Man, right from our lead, all of our leaders got piled up there. That does not happen very often. And I almost got to imagine it had something to do with the one driver pulling off to make a pit stop. You had Scott Speed, Bradley Ream, Jack Davis, Dave Steele Jr. comes in and gets wiped out. Alan Malcolm. The return to the track there on Atley. Holy cow, man. Yep, we're going back to single file. I don't think it matters because there's not going to be any drivers left running after that. It took us 30 laps in the trucks. We're only 9 laps in, and we saw a trio of cars go flying through the air. 78 lands in amongst the crowd. It's been a rough start for some of these drivers. I've never had this big a problem with the cup cars when we race here, so I honestly have no explanation as to why it's this out of control here. It's another race of survival here tonight. Kyler Sestre is going to inherit the lead. Second place is Roach. Third place, Kevin Xavier. 4th, Cannon Gage. 5th, Atom Star. 6th, Jammy Horseman. David Bird. Osiel Escobar now up into the top 10 after Survival. Krista Cower. Gannon Bird. AJ Kosnoff. Paul Ladino. Nadak Hagum. Chasey Plays, and Ryan Little. Ace Blake still alive, so that's 16 of our 34 entries. 17 as you add in Wyatt Wilkinson here still running. And that's it. Half the field wiped out in 10 laps. It looks like Atley Weiss is going to get credited with 25th. Dave Steele Jr. credited with 20th. And 17 cars left running and 189 laps left to go. So now that things can kind of settle down a little bit, I'm starting to realize that I think we might just start our cup race next week single file for the entire race. It seems like adjusting the aggression did not change much at all in the factor of these guys being able to race here. Once you do get sorted, it turns into a decent, racing at least single file racing, and they get back to double file without any hesitation. Sometimes 3 wide and wrecking, so we can keep arguing the fact that these guys just really, really want to win at Charlotte and are racing way above and beyond reason. And that's why we've seen half the field get knocked out here early tonight. See, the racing is excellent once we can get everything cleaned up and roaring. It's just a shame that we had to lose half the field to get to this point, but it's a wild card race. You can think of it like a Daytona or a Talladega, that Charlotte just kind of gives us an extra wrinkle of sorts that all the drivers have to navigate around. Osiel now up to 3rd here, as the lead 2 are pretty distant out front, but solidly in 3rd. Osiel's going to have clean track in front of him here. Roach, Kyler Sustre. Sustre has never won in our Sigmaverse. Roach recently off a victory here in the Bridge to Cup Series, so he's very much got the ability to get the wins. Sustre has had a bit of a struggle this year and hoping to find victory lane before long. And what we're going to have to look at here is the deficit and see if Escobar can start closing the gap here. It's a shame that Atley in his first venture back in Bridge to Cup gets tangled up in the ultimate one here at Charlotte. You can't even say the big one because it's even bigger than the big one when you have cars pirouetting through the sky and landing in the grandstands outside of the track. That to me is the ultimate one. It's a lot more intense than the big one. Escobar is catching the leaders, turning some laps a little bit quicker. Sestre has the fastest lap turn so far, but Escobar turned a 28.0 compared up to Roach's 28.1 and Sestre's 28.0. I'm guessing I should have made the call to go single file on that first caution. I guess hindsight's always 20/20 anyways, but at least those that we have running here, it'll be an interesting story to develop for some potential first-time winners. You got Adam Starr and David Bird rounding out your top 5. David Bird has never won. Oh, and we have another caution here. The two teammates for Audi wrecking amongst each other there. And I don't know what the reasoning for that was. They come up and make contact with the 39 of Wilkinson after he clipped the wall. 90 almost took flight there, but settles back down on all fours. And so now we're under caution for the third time tonight. Very, very mild caution. But it'll stack them back up and it'll allow, now that Osceola didn't have to restart behind the slower traffic, he might be fighting amongst the top 3 a little bit closer than where he was at. Actually, we'll just let it roll out. I don't want to confuse the pace car and turn too many pace laps off. And this could potentially be a race off pit road for position. Osceola Escobar gets out in front of Roach. Here comes Kyler Sustre, and he's just going to close the door on the 8. But Escobar jumps up one spot and now in second. And he's going to be restarting on the front row, which will be huge, as he'll be able to let that speed make the difference from the front row. Al Bunch Incorporated just recently announced that they'd be parting ways with Osiel Escobar at the end of the season. Some folks in the garage were even hesitant that that was a good call, as they hadn't given him quite a fair shake to fulfill a full season before making that announcement. And Escobar's already been signed for JSR in Bridge to Cup for next season. But at the same time, Escobar knows that he's going to go out there and prove, I could still put this car. It's, in a winning, put it in victory possibly, and maybe even stick it to the boss man. It's like, hey, we just haven't had the fairest of shakes lately with this stout of competition. It's just a hard field of racers, especially when you've got one driver that's been so dominant this year in Dave Steele Jr. All it takes is for Dave Steele to have a night like tonight, and then Escobar immediately is very much on the cusp of getting wins here and there. Still have 17 cars left running here. Man, our two pole sitters, the 51 and the 46 of Cannon and Gannon, are now one lap down apiece in 16th and 17th. So this should be interesting to see Osiel restart in second here. I think he's got more speed than what the rest of the field knows at the moment, because he was able to get up to third and hold third. Green flag waving on the restart here. Sestre kind of sleeping on the restart. Here comes Escobar with a move down on the inside going into turn one. Escobar takes the lead away. And now Sestre in a peculiar position as he's going to get overhauled by the rest of the drivers on that inside line. Ace Blake making some moves, getting up into the top 10. Roach holding steady. Sestre, the restart totally got botched there, as he is not looking as fast as he was from the lead. Even had the lead on the restart, but was late getting through the gears and lost the lead here. Managed to pull back up into second, but the damage has been done. Osiel Escobar leading some of his first laps this season here in what's been a very tough and trying season. This has been some exciting racing at the front here. Kyler keeps sticking his nose out, but Osiel keeps closing the door. Kyler driving it in deep that time. It looks like he might try to get the lead back here, but Escobar's going to leg it out on the outside. And using the momentum of that outside line, Escobar could try to get the lead back. Man, he used every inch of the track. He kissed the wall there, trying to keep it ahead of this 24 car. Sestre loose, gets a little bit loose there. Escobar's going to be able to prevail and get the lead back as Sestre got loose on the inside. See, that's what's impressive is we get some excellent racing with the track layout. I don't think I want to manipulate the track itself, but because double file seems to be a hornet's nest, if we just allow them to go single file on the restarts here in the cup race, we should have long stretches of racing like this with mild wrecks sprinkled in here and there. I'm going to disqualify the 90 for Jammy Horseman as he is not meeting a proper race pace. Oh, Sestre drives it in hard there and steals the lead back. Oh, no. Escobar's getting spun, and it's going to collect numerous cars in this one. Oh, the 10 of Xavier collected in it. The one good thing for Escobar here, though, is that his nose looks clean. And if you have a clean nose, it doesn't matter what the rear bumper looks like. As long as you can keep that engine protected, you should be at least okay to run the race still. Man, that's a tough deal. Escobar just got cleaned out by the 66 of Roach. The problem is so many other drivers did not have a chance to slow down. We could be looking at a record low of cars finishing the race here tonight. Crazy part is Escobar is not going to lose very many positions because of everyone that wrecked. They'll take it down pit road here, do some minor repairs. And I think we're going to see a whole bunch more cars knocked out of the race here now. Sestre rejoins in first, Roach in second. There you can see the 98 retired. Coming out fourth is the 50. Fifth, Chasey Plays. Sixth, David Bird. Seventh, Wyatt Wilkinson. Eighth, Kosnoff. And the 8 car is going to roll off look like 9th or 10th. They're going to stay on the lead lap, so minimizes lost spaces there, and only 11 cars left running at the conclusion of this caution. We're going to give the wave around to the 46 and the wave around to the number 51. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Escobar is going to maintain 9th here. And the one key component here is that front end looks clean. He took some rear end damage, but we've seen that the rear end damage does not slow these cars down near as badly as front end damage. We're not even a quarter of the way through the race, and we're down to 11 cars left running in this one. It is, we could have something bizarre happen today, where we don't even finish the full 300 miles that's on on record for tonight's race. And honestly, any of these 11 drivers very much still could get the win here tonight. They may not be done wrecking at this pace that they're running. We could see the 24 of Kyler Sestre get dumped from the lead. Escobar going deep here on the inside. He's going to make a 3 wide. Knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And he'll be back up in the top 5 within a lap. That 8 car is still looking very fast. Sestre coming down pit road out of the lead. We got to imagine there must have been a mechanical gremlin that shook its head. Roach now inherits the lead. And Escobar back up to 3rd. Right there, Escobar's now in 2nd. Dude, we could be laying witness to one of the craziest Bridge to Cup races ever here tonight. That's one of the cleaner cars there fighting it out as the 46 of Gannon Bird now gets up to 2nd here. You got to imagine some of the cleaner cars, it's really going to start becoming apparent with the pace that they can run. Roach, his car, not too rough for the wear, running 28.2s. Gannon Bird turned a 27.8. Osceola turned to 28.5. But with great speed also comes great risk. These guys run too well, they could put themselves into danger's way yet again. 11 cars left running, 2 of which are a lap down. We have 50 laps in, 150 laps to go. And our top 3 is that of Roach, Gannonbird, and Osceola Escobar. Roach would potentially be looking at his second career win in Bridge to Cup action. Gannonbird has never won in Bridge to Cup racing, actually in any form of Sigma racing, so it would be a first career win for that 46 if he could get it done tonight. His speed looking extremely scary here to the 66 of Roach as he has closed that gap exponentially. 27.7. His car is by far the cleanest of the cars. As long as he doesn't have a mechanical failure, he could be on a show of his own tonight. It was Roach that partially caused that wreck this last caution, so might want to steer clear of racing too hard against the 66. He almost kissed the wall there. Escobar under attack by Adam Starr. These two definitely very similar damage sustained to their cars. Roach settles into second as Gannonbird leads the way. And don't forget, after this Bridge to Cup race, we will have a Cup doubleheader here tonight with Bridge to Cup and Cup. Should be an interesting one at South Boston Raceway with our Cup Series. Roach is not letting Gannonbird get too far away here. That's interesting with Sestre making his pit stop. He's actually working his way back around to get on the lead lap again. Sestre drives it in here as Escobar cuts low. We really only have about 2 cars with clean cars left running. There's so many of them that we might just let them race it out. It's not enough hazard to black flag anyone. So we'll just let them race until they can't anymore. Well, I guess to fill empty air, I can start looking at what we've got on tap later tonight for the Cup Series. Before that, let's look into our point standings with the Bridge to Cup and how this might unravel if it were to finish the way things are running. Gannon Bird sits 6th in the points without a win yet on the season, since Dave Steele Jr. has racked up 5 wins through about half the season of races contested. That would likely catapult Gannonbird up to about 4th in the points. His teammate Cannon Gage is still running, so he's going to have to outpoint Cannon Gage by 16, which could still happen since Cannon Gage is, I believe, a lap down. Correct, 11th, 1 lap down. So either 4th or 5th would be his landing spot. The big race here, this Bridge to Cup Series, is getting up to 16th in the points. And Osiel Escobar was gravely in need of a good run. He sits about 60 points out of the top 16. 61 if you look to 15th, and 64 even out of 13th. So great finish here tonight. Would probably get him up into the top 20. And if he can continue putting together some good runs, he might be in the talks for working his way into that top 16 spot in the points. Well, we're just now past halfway here in the Coke 0300. And Gannon Bird really on a Sunday cruise this Thursday evening. So he's lapped everyone back down to 5th place. Only four cars on the lead lap left. And he's got the speed to put that 8 car even a lap down. The 27 and perhaps even the 66 of Roach. Started from the front row tonight, the 46. If we look back at qualifying, started on pole position, so been able to avoid most of the chaos here tonight. And there you see in the not so distant distance in front of him the rest of the lead lap drivers that he's going to start putting a lap down here. Green flag pit stops though, so here on lap 103, he's still going to have at least another round of pit stops to go. Kyler Sestre is potentially on target here to get the lead since he pitted earlier. He's going to have his sights set on catching up with the 8 and the 27. So far we've been wreck-free since about lap 20. Actually right around lap 35 to 40, I think. So pit strategy is going to shake things up a little bit here as the 46 is not going to get his lead back as quickly as he expected. As few other drivers stay out, including... Oh, and he just clipped the wall there. So our fastest car of the night made a little bit of a mistake clipping the wall. That was a mistake. Our leading driver gets some damage on that right side. This is raced very much like an onion. It's got layers upon layers. And I don't know what we're going to get until we peel off all those layers here tonight. So it all shuffles back around to Gannonbird being your leader. But clipping that wall, we can already see the damage he sustained, slowing him down a little bit. Turning 28.2s. Osiel turning 28.8s. Roach, seems like Roach may be making up some ground. Turning 28.4s. 28.2, so still Gannonbird turning the faster laps here, but I think that damage is going to start to trip him up a little bit. Everyone shuffled around, and now we've got a couple drivers 2 laps down, as 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson, the 49 of Chasey Plays, and the 50 of Nadak Hagum all sit at 2 laps down apiece. David Bird officially falls 2 laps down. And Osiel Escobar trying to hold on to stay on the lead lap here, as that 46 is closed up on his back bumper, or what's left of a back bumper, that is. He gets by Osiel, and still Osiel sitting third. That means we only have 2 cars on the lead lap. The 46 and the 66. What could get interesting here is the next round of pit stops, whether or not the 46 spends more time on pit road trying to make adjustments to that car after he clipped the wall. It could slow him up a little bit in his next round of pit stops. We'll have to see. Turns a 28.3. Osiel turns a 28.4. And you can't rule out mechanical failures either. I mean, we've seen our leader blow a tire from the lead. We've seen other crazy things happen. Heck, this pass with the 12 could go terribly wrong here, and the 46 could get slided into the wall. Gets by the 12 there of Kosnoff, and now Osiel trying to make the same move there. It's nice that everyone got settled out here and we're actually having some clean racing for a change. The second half of the race definitely going to be a lot quicker than the first half, since there's not going to be near as many cautions slowing up that pace. We have 80 laps remaining here tonight, and really only about one standout driver with the capability of winning it. Still got to imagine there might be some folks playing the oddball strategy game. We saw the 51 cycle out to the lead for a brief moment. The 24 of Sustre could be very intriguing. What's big is this race here for third. Could be for so much more if our top two have any troubles. Well, we are settling into the final home stretch of the race here tonight, and it's all been Gannon Bird out front as he's been hard to beat here. We will see at least one more round of pit stops, and I've got to wonder if that 46 is going to spend some extra time on pit road getting the scratches and bumps worked out of that right-hand side. We could see him lose some position to the 66 of Roach, who sits 16 seconds back in second place. Otherwise, Kyler Sestre had gone off strategy, and he has worked his way all the way up to third here on the strategy call. Pit stops already happening here with 45 laps to go. Kyler Sestre will probably inherit the lead here unless he pits too. But with the way things are going to shake out, he could have a better finish than what he was looking like was going to have. Right there, he's going to, well, we'll see where Roach shakes out. If Roach stayed out, which it looks like Roach did, the longer Roach stays out, the more laps he can lead here. Roach continues to stay out. Roach hasn't yet won here in the month of May, so he would get his May reward with a win here tonight. Down to 40 laps to go. There's no way he can make to the finish on what strategy he's rolling here, so he's going to have to pit. Unless a caution came out, that would be the only way that Roach could possibly shake things up, as if there was a caution here. Crazy enough, that would put the 46, who's led all the laps tonight, one lap down in 6th place if a caution were to fall. And more takers down pit road here, including the 66 of Roach. We'll have to see if the 24 stays out. I imagine the 24 is probably going to stay out. Yep, and he will now inherit the lead here. Only another lap, and he had to pit too, so stretches it a little bit further here, which could be a semi-game changer. He might just take gas and go as quickly as he can. If he can do that, he could rejoin this track out front of Gannon-Bird. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as just taking gas only. He's going to have to take at least some tires and some gas. Yep, there you have it. .46 just now getting by him. As Sestre rejoins the track, he's going to rejoin the track a little bit better than where he left. He's going to go from being a lap down to right on the lead lap, fighting for... He's going to have to... Oh, I mistook. He's going to be, yep, right there in third on the lead lap. Somehow worked it so that he actually gained a lap back. That's a terrible pit stop from the 46 of Gannon-Bird to have given up that much ground to everyone. How bad was his pit stop? Did a 125.8 on his pit stop. A 105. Our leader gave up 20 seconds on the pit stop, which was because of that damage, like I mentioned. He was going to take some time fixing it so that the car could be a little bit closer to 100%. He gave up 20 seconds on the field, and just like that, Roach is back in the mix. Kyler Sestre back in the mix. And this is why we do an endurance race here at Charlotte. You get to see some weird strategies pan out. And Roach turning 28 ones. Compare that up to, well, Gannon-Bird's turning 27 nines. It's a little bit faster after he got the repairs done. But he could always get in another bit of a tizzy here, working through the lap traffic, and you never know. Roach could still find a way to win this race. Kyler Sestre sitting a lot prettier than where he was about 5 laps ago. As we're only down to 32 laps to go here. Truly has been survival of the fittest out here at Charlotte. 300 miles is far and wide an endurance race for these Bridge to Cup stars. Cadillac has never won in Bridge to Cup competition. We could potentially see Cadillac get its first win in any of the flagship series here in Sigma. Gannon-Bird hunting for his first ever career Sigma victory. Looking pretty snazzy out front in the city. Chevrolet Cadillac, that number 46. His teammate Cannon Gage with a great run here tonight, even though Uh, lost some ground. It looks like he could still get a top 5 out of this. He's got his sights set on closing up to this 2 blue car battle, that purple car in the distance. As, believe it or not, that's your fight for 4th and 5th, right behind the leader, since they're both a lap down. Roach hasn't been able to close the gap very much here in this last stint. Still 5.5 seconds back. But if we get a late race caution, just throw out all the stat books. This could turn into a different race if we have a late race caution come out. Unfortunately, I don't have a statistic for when the last caution usually comes out. The only thing is it's hard to make those stats a reality in NR2003 because NR2003 is just way too unpredictable to have stats kind of like that be compiled. Ooh, here comes Cannon Gage as this turns into a 3-car fight for 4th place. First time we've seen some passing action here in quite a while tonight. 27 of Adam Starr holding off Cannon Gage. Cannon Gage wants to get by and even try to get his lap back. The Cadillac team runs 1st and 4th as his teammate Gannon leads the way. And just like that, teammate's going to get his lap back. Yeah, not quite. If there were any foul play to emerge here, this could be a very loud and astounding experience. If a teammate wrecked the leader to get his lap back, that would be one of those things that you go back to the trailer with boxing gloves at the end of the race. They're keeping it clean, I was forecasting a non-existent scenario there, but it could still be a problematic pass here with lap traffic holding him up. 39 of Wilkinson and the 49 of Chasey Plays. Ooh, it's going to get 3 wide. And our leader has a front row seat to all the commotion here. Cannon Gage gets his lap back, but had to face some adversity there racing through it. 3 wide going into the front stretch. This has been the problem zone. We'll have to keep our eyes on this lap traffic ordeal. Make sure that they clean it up here. We could get a late race caution if these guys decide to race hard amongst the rest of the drivers. 3 wide, 3 wide. It's going to stay 3 wide. And Wyatt Wilkinson, unfortunately, the benefactor of the chaos there, clipped the wall pretty good. He's going to finish 11th here tonight, it looks like, as Chasey Plays secures 10th from him. Now at this point, Cannon Gage probably hoping to see a caution so that he might have at least a shot here tonight to race his teammate for the win. These two probably hoping they could get at least a 1-2 podium to close out the night. It's actually amazing that we haven't seen any mechanical failures in this long, late run here at the end of the race. Sigma officials claim that there's debris out there on track, so we're going to have a late race restart with 10 laps to go, giving these guys one more shot to get the job done here tonight. Looks like we're going to have maybe 6 cars on the lead lap once we get wave around sorted. And Gannonbird, his lead has been erased here. So we'll have 6 cars on the lead lap here, with a 10-lap shootout to sort this whole race out. With the restart, it's going to be Gannonbird and Roach followed by Kyler Sestre, Cannon Gage, Adam Starr, and the 8 of Osiel Escobar, as he's now coming into the picture there. Single file, as we have not allowed them to go double file for the restarts since the second caution here tonight. They got all sorted. We've got 6 cars on the lead lap out of the 11 cars left running here. And we've already seen how this gets exciting when you've got clean cars and the draft and everything that's involved. This could be an exciting, frantic 10 laps to the finish here. As Gannon Bird hoping desperately that the competition, debris caution doesn't affect his outcome here. There comes Kyler Sestre with a full head of steam. He's going to have a little bit of help from Cannon Gage in the 51 My Mochi Cadillac there. And I think it just takes Gannon Bird another lap to get up to speed here. These 3, the fastest cars here tonight, finally getting a chance to show it, racing for the win. Roach settles into 4th after having a second place run up to this point tonight. Cannon Gage up to 3rd. Cannon wants to let the Cadillac horses sing. Oh, and there goes Sestre with a deep dive going into turns 3 and 4. Cannon Gage might try to avenge his teammate for the lost lead there. He's got some momentum. He's going on the inside on the attack here with Sestre. Gannon Bird losing some ground. It's going to be a 3-dog fight for the win here, as the 2 Cadillac teammates settle in 2nd and 3rd there. Kyler Sestre in the Audi. Eight laps to race for it. Is Kyler Sestre going to waltz away with it, or could Cannon Gage perhaps stun the show and lead one of his first few laps in the closing laps here tonight? Cannon Gage with a full head of steam on the backstretch. He's looking stout. That Cadillac has not gone away at all tonight. Your top 2 pole position starters running 2nd and 3rd. Six laps remain, and we could have a tight battle on our hands between the 24 and the 51. Who's saved enough of their stuff to get the job done? Has it been the 24 or has it been the 51? Cannon Gage drives it in deep. These 2 giving it all they've got. Sestre outlegs him on the outside. And now Gage settles back in right behind. Perhaps pulling the trigger on the lead pass there a little bit too early. Is resetting, recalculating, trying to figure out the proper procedure to get this lead. Cadillac desperately wants to get the job done here tonight to get their first ever victory. Cadillac obviously in the same home as GM and Chevy. Chevy's gotten plenty of wins throughout all of the Sigma Racing Series. But Cadillac would be a first. That could bode well for Cadillac and its future amongst all 3 series. Down to 4 laps to go, and Cannon Gage not giving up here. You can see the pure grit and determination from that 51. Cannon Gage wants this race just as badly as Kyler Sestre does, maybe even more. As it's now lap 198 of 200. These 2 can't be any closer in times. They are running very, very close. It might take Cannon Gage giving him a little bit of a bumper here to make it, give him that extra push to the win. It's going to be lap 199 at 200. Not too shabby here as the 51's going to have the momentum on the front straight. 2 laps to go now. 24 doing really good at keeping him at bay. Cannon Gage held a steadier wheel, went a little bit faster that time. We're going to peek out on the back straight here. That could be huge as they're roaring towards the white flag this time. Cannon Gage drives it in deep, loses a little bit of momentum, and it's going to be, it's going to be tight at the white flag waving in the air. Cannon Gage has to give up the momentum he had. He's only going to have one more shot at this, and it's going to have to happen on the back straight or not at all. Yeah, he's going to lose all that momentum he had just put up. Unless Kyler Sestre makes a mistake going through the turns here, I don't think Cannon Gage can get the job done. First time winner, nonetheless, it's going to be Kyler Sestre getting the job done in the number 24. Leaving Cannon Gage with a bad taste in his mouth. If he could have got the win there, he might have waited another lap to make that pass like he did, and he could have been sitting in victory lane here tonight. But it's been a long time coming for Kyler Sestre, who came in late in the 2023 season with guns a-blazing, has not seen victory up until now, where he gets the job done here at Charlotte. Coming home second, Cannon Gage. Third, Gannon Bird, Roach, Adam Starr, and Osiel Escobar with a top 10 finish. The rest of the drivers multiple laps down here have to settle for top 10, top 15 at the end of the night here. As that concludes our Bridge to Cup action from Charlotte. And it's just a matter of time before Cannon Gage can get it so close tonight. It was a valiant effort, and Cadillac definitely on the cusp of getting their first overall win here in Bridge to Cup action. Race 14 of 30, almost halfway through the season. And of course, another topsy-turvy night here at Charlotte. Trucks and now Bridge to Cup leave us with a ton of tore up, mangled cars in the aftermath. So let me get things sorted here, and we will have the Cup Series race at the top of the hour ready to stream. So congrats again to Kyler Sestre. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and just in a brief moment, we'll see you in the next one. This is Jakester signing out.